everyone, welcome to another motovlog on my channel. My name is Marshall3498. In today's motovlog, what I'd like to talk about is my ongoing search and kind of just routine of deciding which adventure bike I really want to buy. I've narrowed it down to two choices, and on today's motovlog, that's what I'm going to go over. I know some of y'all who watch my channel religiously may get a little bit tired of this, but I feel like it's motorcycle topic related as it normally is on my channel, so it's a good topic for me to talk about with you all. Maybe get y'all some input, some of your comments, let me know if you think it's a good idea or not. But this is pretty much, at least right now, in my head, what I'm thinking I'd like to do. So the ongoing adventure bike search for me, lots of research, lots of YouTube stuff, lots of article reading, different stuff, reading owner's reviews more than press reviews, because the press reviews, those a lot of those guys I think do a good job and are pretty honest, but I really trust a person that that bought that bike with their own hard-earned money. I feel like they give a more honest review and not as biased as a person who's a motorcycle journalist, that's their job, they're being paid to give that review out. And I feel like some of those reviews like that from journalists, I feel like they might be told by the manufacturer, look, don't tear us up too bad or whatever, but give us a decent review, but don't hate on it too much. And I feel like that the actual owner of the bike themselves, I feel like they do a more honest review of that and are more genuine. But I think, guys, I love Yamaha products. I love my FJR. I love the FC6 that I had before this, that I put like 15,000 miles on it in like the 3 years that I owned it. I like their products. I think Yamaha builds a good product. All your Japanese motorcycle manufacturers right now, especially BMW and Triumph, they build a quality product that has has their flaws, like even the Japanese brands and recalls and stuff like that, because people make mistakes. They're machines built by people. So but all of them, especially the Japanese, and I say Japanese because Japanese are maybe a lot more in the working class people's budget. Not everybody has 20, 30 grand to spend on a big KTM Super Venture and deck it out, or a big BMW 1250 GS. And I'm not taking anything away from those bikes, but some of the Japanese motorcycle manufacturers, I think, are more reasonable budget, and they're still expensive themselves, but I feel like that they're more reachable for the average person. Because let's be honest, can the average person really spend that much on a motorcycle? Maybe not. But I do think I don't get killed by the GMC trying to pull out. Hate it when people do that. They slowly are, like this person, they're easing up barely on the brakes right before they pull out. Then the last minute they see a car and they stop. It makes me wonder sometimes they're really going to stop or not. But I digress. So I love Yamaha products. I think the Tenere is an amazing bike for what it is and what it's intended for. But I think, at least right now, in the next year or two, I may change my mind once the Trans-Slap or whatever the middleweight adventure bike that Honda comes out to compete with the Tenere is. But I think right now, I really like the Africa Twin, the 2021 I rode. It's a really great bike. They did a really good job redesigning it. It feels really lightweight. The one I rode was actually a DCT, the standard version, not the Venture Sport. It handled good. The brakes were incredible. The motor felt good. A little bit vibey, but that's the way a lot of parallel twins are. Not quite as smooth as a Tenere, but not that far off. The transmission did well in the several modes that I put it in. It rode really good. I was on a really super bumpy road, and it was super compliant. I didn't get bucked around the saddle hardly at all, if any. But it was really nice. It's new TFT and all that stuff, and cruise and lean angle, traction control and ABS and Bosch IMU and all this stuff. And it's a great bike. You know, nobody would be wrong for going that choice, but I feel like the 18 and 19 in the first generation, I feel like that's more my wheelhouse. That's something that I would actually like to own potentially a year or two from now when I'm able to do that and afford it. But I do feel like I said, there's nothing wrong with the 2020 version and up. I just think it's a little too fancy for my taste. And I say that because, you know, this FJR has electronic suspension, has heated grips, has cruise, electronic windshield, USB thing up here in the little dash, and all that stuff's great. But once you own the bike for a little while, like anything else, you kind of get accustomed to all that, and it's nice to have, you know, and it makes the bike a little more enjoyable to live with, but it's really not necessary, you know. So that's why I say I like the 18 and the 19 version. The dash is much simpler. This whole left hand switch gear on this bike is, you know, pretty simple, and the 18 and 19 Africa Twin, their layout's pretty simple too. The dash is laid out way simpler than the 2020 and up version. Of course, it's not a TFT, it's just LCD, but I'm okay with that because this is LCD and this is fine with me. It does everything and more that I need it to do. And I really feel like that, I know a lot of people are going to scream at me in the comments for this, but it's the bike that I'm potentially going to choose, so it's my money, so whatever. And, you know, I have my own opinion just like everybody else does, but I do feel like to, thanks dude, idiot. But you know, I feel like that, you know, I would be happy with that bike, and especially the DCT maining, just because the bike's intended purpose. It's going to spend, you know, 70%, 75% of its life on the road, little back roads like this. I don't mind shifting a manual motorcycle. It's not a big deal, and it's not hard for me to do. I'm used to it now after riding for almost 7 years. But I do feel like the DCT I'll get a little more enjoyment out of, especially when it comes to a little more technical off-road riding situations. Being a brand new off-road rider, I won't have to worry about killing the motor or stalling it or shifting a whole bunch, make sure I'm right gear. I can just concentrate on ride. I can put the bike in manual mode, I can put it in sport 1, sport 2, sport 3, or whatever, turn ABS off in the rear and turn traction control off, or leave it on, or leave the ABS on too, since I'm new at off-road riding, and just go and ride the bike and not have to worry about it. It's one less thing I feel like to have to deal with. And, you know, that might not be everybody's thing, and that's okay, because I have the stuff that I like. And what's the worst thing happen? I can own the bike for a year and be like, yeah, I think I want to go back to manual. And if I do that, it's okay, because, you know, adventure bikes are popular, probably one of the more popular segments in riding these days, and it wouldn't be a hard bike to sell. And, you know, turn around and get a bike comparable of it, but get a manual. You know, if that's the worst that can happen, big deal, right? So I feel like that's a good idea, and that's something I really want to shoot for. So my choice is a 18 to 19 Honda Africa Twin DCT 1000, or CRF 1000, whatever you call it. I think that would be a good bike. You know, it still has, yes, I know it doesn't have cruise, but like I said, I barely use the cruise on this, just every so often. And, you know, I want the bike from Mid-Atlantic back to Discovery routes where you got a lot of roads like this, some light off-road riding, maybe some of it may be a little more aggressive, just depends on how much it's rained. And, you know, buy the bike, buy more off-road focused helmet, like a Venture helmet, buy a set of off-road riding boots, off I go. And we'll just see where the road takes us. Like I said, I'm still a little bit off on getting it, but it gives me a goal of something to look forward to and try to meet. And maybe a little annoying to some of you regular viewers that watch me a lot. If it is, sorry, but I feel like it's good content. It's something that's on my mind. It's something I can talk about and not stumble in my words, and I can have a general conversation with you guys and get y'all's thoughts and opinions on it. So on that, guys, thanks for watching today's motovlog. If not already done so, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you check the link in the description, I have started putting my P.O. box and my email on there. So if you want to contact me about either one, feel free to do so. On that, guys, ride safe, have fun. We'll see you on the next one. See ya.